June 12th, 2026, 9:30 in the morning. New York City. NASDAQ Stock Exchange. The opening bell rings. And in the first second of trading, one man becomes the first trillionaire in human history. Not in a day, not in an hour, in 1 second. Elon Musk, $1 trillion. But here is what nobody is telling you. The game that was played to get to that number involved a sitting US president, millions of Americans' retirement savings, and a set of rules that were quietly changed just days before it happened. Before we get into this, did you know SpaceX just went public? Drop yes or no in the comments right now. If this already sounds suspicious, hit like and subscribe, because what comes next will shock you. Stay with me until the end, because the real story behind the world's first trillionaire is darker than anything you've been told. Section 1. The number nobody can visualize. Let's start with the number itself. $1 trillion. Most people hear it and move on, because our brains cannot actually process what it means. So let's try. If you go back 1 million seconds in time, you go back 11 and a half days. Not very long. If you go back 1 billion seconds, you go back 32 years, before most of us were born. But if you go back 1 trillion seconds, you go back 1,000 years, to a time when no human civilization had even begun. That is the number Elon Musk crossed. Today, there are only 21 countries on Earth whose entire GDP is more than $1 trillion. Elon Musk's net worth has crossed all of them, and he did it in 1 second. Section 2, the paper trillion, but here is the first thing nobody explains. That $1 trillion? Elon Musk cannot spend it. Not most of it anyway. His wealth is tied to shares. 38% of SpaceX, 15 to 25% of Tesla. Paper wealth. Numbers on a screen that change every second based on what other people think those companies are worth. Elon himself has admitted he holds only 0.1% of his wealth in actual cash. 0.1% of 1 trillion is $1 billion. That sounds like a lot, but if he tried to sell his shares to get actual cash, the market would panic. Investors would think if Elon is selling something must be wrong. The share price would crash, and his trillion would shrink to hundreds of billions overnight. So the wealth is real, but also it isn't. It exists as long as everyone believes it exists. The moment that belief breaks, the number disappears. Section 3. Is SpaceX actually worth $2.2 trillion? Now let's talk about the real question. Is SpaceX actually worth $2.2 trillion? 1 year ago, SpaceX was valued at $400 billion. Today, $2.2 trillion. A 5 times increase in 12 months. But what did SpaceX actually do in those 12 months? It didn't launch a revolutionary new product. It didn't reach Mars. It didn't solve any of the big problems it promised to solve. In fact, SpaceX recorded a loss of $5 billion in 2025. And in the first 3 months of 2026 alone, another $4.28 billion in losses. A company losing money valued at $2.2 trillion. According to research firm Morningstar, SpaceX's actual value is around $780 billion, roughly 35% of its current market price. So why is the market valuing it at $2.2 trillion? Because people are not buying SpaceX. They are buying Elon Musk's dreams. Harvard Business School professor Mihir Desai calls it a financial cult, where the name Elon Musk attached to anything makes people believe it will succeed, regardless of the fundamentals. Section 4, the broken promises, and here is where it gets uncomfortable. Because Elon Musk has made a lot of promises, and broken most of them. 2013 Hyperloop. Travel between cities at 600 miles per hour. Boston to New York in 30 minutes. The company shut down in 2023. No successful product ever built. 2015 Tesla fully autonomous self-driving in 3 years. 11 years later, still not fully autonomous. 2019 1 million robotaxis on the road by 2020. It is 2026. We are still waiting. 2014 humans on Mars in 10 to 12 years. No realistic plan exists today. Investor Steve Eisman, the man who predicted the 2008 financial crisis, called SpaceX's valuation madness. He said this is an IPO of a science fiction story made for a science fiction cult. to infinity and beyond, or in this case, to Mars. People are not investing in a company. They are investing in a story, and stories, no matter how good, are not the same as fundamentals. Section 5, Buy, Borrow, Die Now. Let's talk about how Elon actually lives on this wealth, because here is something most people don't know. He doesn't sell his shares to get money, he borrows against them. The strategy is called buy. Borrow, die, step 1, buy shares. Never sell them, because selling triggers capital gains tax. Step 2, use those shares as collateral. Take loans from banks at very low interest rates. Spend the loan money on whatever you want, no tax, because loans are not income. Step 3, die. When you die, your shares pass to your children. Under U.S. tax law, no capital gains tax on inherited wealth. The children sell a small portion, pay off the loans, and keep the rest. Tax-free. This is how Elon bought Twitter in 2022. He mortgaged 236 million Tesla, shares worth $62.5 billion, got a $12.5 billion loan from the bank, bought Twitter, paid zero income tax on that transaction, while the average American pays 20 to 30%. Between 2014 and 2018, Elon Musk's wealth grew by $13.9 billion. His tax rate? 3.2%. Section 6, the Trump connection now here, is the part that should make every American angry. Before the 2024 election, Elon Musk's net worth was $270 billion. Within 2 years of Trump becoming president, it grew to $1 trillion. Almost 5 times in 2 years. Elon donated $290 million to Trump's campaign, the single largest donor. And after Trump won, the favors began. Rules that had protected American investors for decades were quietly changed. The first change, the fast entry rule. Previously, when a company listed on a major index like NASDAQ 100, it had to wait months, sometimes years. This protected retirement funds and pension savings from overvalued companies. For SpaceX, that waiting period was reduced to 15 days. The result? Millions of Americans' retirement savings were automatically invested in SpaceX, whether they wanted to or not. The second change, even more alarming. 2 days before the SpaceX IPO, the Securities and Exchange Commission issued a letter excusing brokers from keeping customers' money in separate protected accounts specifically for SpaceX's IPO. $70 billion of ordinary American savings put at risk, so that one man could become the world's first trillionaire. And it doesn't stop there. Before Trump became president, there were 40 investigations and court cases against Elon Musk and his companies. After Trump won, they were dropped, one by one. Section 7, what this really means, step back and look at the full picture. A company losing billions of dollars valued at $2.2 trillion. Rules changed at the highest levels of government to make one man richer. Ordinary Americans' retirement savings put at risk without their knowledge or consent. 40 investigations dropped. Competitors facing new investigations, and a man who paid 3% tax while the working class pays 20 to 30. According to the United Nations World Food Program, only $40 billion per year is needed to eliminate world hunger by 2030. That is 4% of Elon Musk's current net worth. He was once challenged to donate $6 billion to prove he cared about ending hunger. The World Food Program responded with a detailed plan. Elon Musk never replied. The world's first trillionaire, who couldn't find $6 billion for hunger. $1 trillion, built on paper wealth, political connections, changed rules, broken promises, and $70 billion of ordinary American savings quietly put on the line. The number is real. The foundation it sits on is shakier than anyone is admitting. History does not remember people for their bank balance. It remembers what they did with it and what they chose not to do. The world's first trillionaire has arrived. Whether the world is better for it is a question only time will answer. If this opened your eyes, like, subscribe, and share Behind Billions. Every week we expose the empires that are built in plain sight. The next one is even darker.